affairs represent the entirety of what America is being hunted by in terms of Iran-backed militias is incomplete. Why? Because these groups are drawing off populations in these areas and other. We're learning more and more about people coming from North Africa to join what they see as a righteous but incorrect jihad. We see organizations splintering. Some have legitimate grievances against people in these provinces and surrounding areas, often involving the United States. Many do not. Some are doing it for profit. Others doing it out of misplaced passion of purpose, and some are straight-up terrorists. So all of this is going on here, and they are all capable of hitting American installations and populations that are in the same exact areas. So 85 targets this time. They can't provide exact specificity, but are they trying to kill people, or are they trying to kill potential? And does that work? Let's join by people who can understand on the political side whether this passes muster and militarily, okay? Georgia Congressman Richard McCormick joins us again on the House Foreign Affairs and the Armed Services Committee. Appreciate you, Congressman, for being with us. We also have retired Air Force Lieutenant General Richard Newton, News Nation's senior national security contributor. First of all, gentlemen, thank you for joining me on short notice on a Friday night. Second, did I say anything that was offensive of your sense of the reality at this time? Simple nod of the head will do.
Didn't even get started.
Oh, good. All right, so let's start first with the military. And obviously, Congressman, you understand this world. You serve the country as well. So weigh in on this, but I'll start with you, General. More specificity in terms of scale and scope here. We hear B-1 bombers were used. But please help people understand why this is arguably progress, and then what is your critique of it?
Well, good evening, Chris. Good to be with you and Congressman McCormick. You know, the challenge here I've had for the last several weeks, and we talked about it earlier this week, is the fact that the United States men and women in uniform in that region of the world have been attacked 165 times since 17 October. And obviously at Tower 22, we had 3 soldiers from Georgia killed in action, serving their country and serving well. And we saw the dignified transfer at Dover earlier this afternoon. And so the context here is that the response, although I believe is a good first step, and went after targets that were, you know, in terms of weapon storage areas and unmanned aerial vehicle supply depots and so forth, I'll call it adequate. What I'm looking for is a sustained air campaign and with a special operations campaign combined to go after these Iranian-backed proxy forces. But the culprit here are not the proxies. The culprit is Iran. We've been in conflict with Iran for several years.
Right.
But the fact that they've got their fingerprints all over these proxies, and they've got the Iranian Republican Guard Corps, you know, leadership in the field. They've got the paramilitary Quds forces. This is not up against the proxies. This should be against Iran, and a sustained campaign against these Iran proxy forces, yes, but really focused on Iran, who are trying to supplant U.S. leadership in the region, as well as trying to separate us from being the ally that we need to be with Israel and so forth.
Okay.
So bottom line here, it's a start. I'm looking for a sustained campaign over the next several days, if not a couple weeks, and move forward.
General, appreciate it. Congressman, you have been calling for this a while, so obviously there is already a present critique of this took too long. But now, in terms of the nature of it, do you believe that this is sufficient to stop Iran from encouraging more attacks?
Absolutely not. Iran didn't suffer directly. Let's face it, they're the ones producing these weapons. They're distributing these weapons. They're encouraging them to be used against U.S. troops and our allies all over the world, whether it be in Ukraine, in Israel, in Palestine. It doesn't matter. I'm sure it'll be used in Taiwan. These guys are bad actors. If you know somebody who's producing weapons, distributing them, and encouraging the use against the United States, what does that mean to us? We've been at war before. We've always gone after those who have gone after us. This has been going on, as the general pointed out, for years, and we let them have access to billions of dollars, which has helped fund this effort against us. If you have weapons that are being produced in your country and distributing from your country, that should be fair game. Everything should be on the table.